I just got back from my local Costco and I'm telling you, spring is springing at Costco. It is loaded with plants and all kinds of garden goodies to get the season started. And this is also the time that impulse buying can really kick in. So today I'm going to take you around the store and show you all the things that they've got and how I think about going through Costco purposefully and buying things thoughtfully rather than just by impulse because they're so pretty. Hey folks, if we haven't met before, my name is Tara. I garden in the California Bay Area, and my job is to help you grow and to love growing. And that also means not coming home with a bunch of plants that are going to stress you out all season. So let's take a look at my local Costco and we'll see what we can buy and maybe what we should put a pause on until we're ready for it and our garden is ready too. So what literally had me jumping up and down was that the roses are here. I wait all year for this time of year when the roses come, and then they are gone in like a couple of weeks. These are bare root roses. Look at all these varieties. The box shows some basic instructions on how to take care of it, and it also shows you how to plant it. But I'm actually going to show you at the end of this video via demonstration how exactly to do that. Yeah, these are dormant roses, so I will have to show you how I wake them up as soon as I get home. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that pink is. I think I'm gonna get one of those. I don't think I'll get the reds though. I got a lot last year. Let's see if there's any others hiding behind here. Oh my gosh, look at that Tiffany. I'm gonna get that one too. The candy cane I got a couple of years ago. Very pretty. And they've also got some single petal roses. I'm not so into those. Ooh, the color magic. I think I'll get that instead of Tiffany. And definitely getting these cathedral bells. Let me show you the roses that I got because you guys, these roses, number one, it's the perfect time to plant bare root roses in my garden. And these roses are an incredible deal. In fact, every year I buy a few more of these because I want to build up my stash. I don't want to buy it all in one shot because, again, I want to be able to care for them. So they've got a lot of very scented roses. This one over here is called Color Magic. It's a creamy apricot and pinkish color. And then I've got these two that are actually quite similar looking. In fact, my husband was like, what, you bought two of the same kind? They're slightly different, but they're similar. Last year, actually, I ended up with a whole bunch of red roses. And this year, it looks like I'm leaning towards the pinks. And the year before that, I was leaning towards the yellows. So, hey, there's a plan, even though I haven't thought about it that way. But this one over here is called Cathedral Bells. Now, all of these are part of their fragrance rose collection. And this is the same collection that comes every year, at least the brand, the Fragrant Rose collection. But the perfume varies, I would say. Some of them are extremely perfumed and some of them not so much. But one thing that they all have in common is they are all, number one, 2-packs, and they are all grade 1 roses. And that means for $16.99, you are getting the best quality rose plants that you can possibly get. Look at the thick, strong stems. These things, all of them pretty much have survived over the past couple of years that I've been building my collection. So you cannot get this price, guys. So that's the thing about Costco. You cannot get this price at any nursery. Trust me, this is the best deal that you can possibly get. And if you do get a deal at a local nursery, I would double check to make sure that the quality, the grade is of this grade because these rose plants are truly awesome and I highly recommend them if you know where to plant them in your garden. Now, I'll run a little short video through at the end of this one to show you how to plant up your bare root roses. The process is pretty simple, but what I do have to do as soon as possible, you don't want them to kind of sit around. These are bare root roses, and they are ready to be planted in my climate. We are in kind of midwinter, which is the perfect time to plant roses. So I'm going to have to soak these overnight for 8 hours and then plant them up. But stay tuned till the end, and I'll run that little short through so that you can see exactly how to plant bare root roses. Okay, so I had to get the roses because they go very quickly and I had already planned to get them. So I was excited to see them. However, the first guideline that I have about buying stuff from Costco, at least buying plants from Costco, is I will not buy it on the first go around. The first go around is all about just looking at what they have and then figuring out whether I really want to buy it or not. And if I do, then I will go back a second time and buy it. So let's jump into looking at the fruit trees next. Oh, I don't know whether Costco's ever had these before. These are espaliered Meyer lemon trees. Now these are really great for small spaces because they're basically trellised flat and not allowed to go every which way. They've got tangerines too. And this is nice because it actually exposes the entire plant to light. And so you can get a lot of fruit in a small space. Let's see what other fruit trees they have. Yeah, these are bare root fruit trees as well, and they establish so easily at this time of year. So they've got a couple of varieties of peaches, and they've got apricots, and also some nectarines. I didn't see any plums though, but basically they've got your stone fruits at this time of year. I did see apples last time I was here and managed to grab a pink lady, but they are all gone now. Gotta get on it, this stuff goes fast. Oh look, they've got a butylon. This is tiger eye, really pretty variety. Been trying to grow it from cuttings for many years now. Not succeeding. Maybe I'll have to get a plant. I don't know. Wait, what is this? Oh my gosh, look at that color. Ah, it's a flowering peach. Yeah, this would be a great impulse buy that I would definitely regret because I don't know where to put it. All right, let's go check out all the spring bulbs. Ooh, so many. Let's see, they've got cannas, caladium, colorful calla lilies, more cannas, elephant ear, and oh my gosh, they got dahlias. Look at those ice cream colors. And begonias are so beautiful, but I'm gonna pass this time. I bought them last year and failed miserably. Failed at elephant ear too, didn't water it enough. Yeah, don't buy things if you don't know how to take care of them. Oh look, irises are here too. And another pretty bag of dahlias. Yeah, looking at all these things reminds me of all the failures I've had in the past. It's pretty depressing. Gladioli did well, I have to say. More pretty calla lilies. And what is this? Liatris. Never heard of it. I'm going to have to do some research on that one. Now, I love peonies, but I know they're going to be tricky to grow because they like cooler climates. Never grown phlox before. We'll look into that. Clematis, such a beautiful creeping flower. I bought it a couple of years ago, but I did not research sufficiently what it needs. It needs cool roots and warm temperatures, and I did not give it the mulch that it needed to keep its roots cool, so it was a goner. Ferns, I have plenty. Lavandula, don't know what that is. Alliums, they grow well for me. And Heliopsis, want to try that one too. And hostas, another failure of mine, and Astilbes, yet another failure. But I think you're seeing a pattern here. Gosh, I'm really starting to question my gardening abilities. So that was really sobering, especially as I watch it on the replay. And it actually brings me to the second guideline that I want to share with you, which is when you come back, remember those 2 trips I told you to make to Costco? The first just to do an inventory and assessment. Well, before the second trip, what you need to do is research what you think you want to buy. Research how they grow, especially in their native environment. So do an internet search for how do peonies grow natively, and that will help you understand the conditions that you need to provide to it if your native environment doesn't provide it naturally. And this is probably one of my most important guidelines that I personally follow for not just stuff that I want to get from Costco, but any plant that I want to plant. I've been doing this pretty well, pretty assiduously for the past couple of years, and it has made a huge difference in my ability to grow a plant successfully. Always understand how it grows in its native conditions. Okay, let's finish up the bulbs here. These are actually nice. These are combo packs where you get multiple different types of bulbs. So this one's got like dahlias and lilies and gladioli. This one is, oh, here's one which has all peonies, 5 different varieties of peonies. How cool is that? Gosh, I'm so tempted. Now they've got some info on how to grow these on the package itself, but most of the information is on their website. Oh, they've got a multi-pack of lilies. Now these are actually pretty beginner friendly, but I don't usually get them because they are toxic to pets and I've got cats. And here's yet another interesting combo. This one has got lilies, gladioli, and a dahlia, beautiful red one. The elephant ears and a caladium are another thing that I have failed at miserably. These are tropical plants. I actually had them in my garden growing up in India and loved them. My mother used to call the red ones bleeding hearts. And yet they need a lot of water, you guys. If you cannot provide water, I live like in hot, dry California. We have to have irrigation for these things or they just won't grow. And they didn't. Nice hummingbird mix, lilies, gladioli, and crocosmia. I'm hoping microcosmia will come back this year. And for the gardener who loves convenience, they've got pre-planted pots. All you're going to need to do is water them in and they should start growing. These actually might not be a bad option at all if you're going to be planting them in pots anyway. You won't have to worry about how to combine them. All of that thinking has already been done for you. And yeah, Costco's price at $19.99 for this can't be beat. Plus you get a nice sturdy pot to go with it. Yeah, I think this is a really great option. So I'll show you some tropicals and some other things in just a bit, but this is actually a really good time for me to share with you guideline number 3, which is you need to know the layout of your garden. Not just where you're going to be planting the new things that you're going to be buying, but also how does the sun travel around your garden? Which parts get morning sun, afternoon shade, or morning shade, afternoon sun? Which parts of your garden are maybe set up for irrigation, which parts are not? You need to understand all of these things before you actually buy the plants. Otherwise, after you get them, you're going to be sitting trying to figure out where you're going to plant them and what extra work you're going to need to do to make them succeed. So the tropicals come pre-potted, which is nice. This is some kind of cordyline. Again, should grow well in my climate, but I have killed that plant before. These are elephant ear. Now, many of these plants can actually be grown indoors, which is nice. Elephant ear gets pretty big though. Ooh, what is this prettiness here? I think this looks like some kind of prayer plant. Look at those colors, so gorgeous. I have a feeling I'll be taking this one home. And speaking of houseplants, here's an entire selection of houseplants, all $17.99. They look very beginner friendly, most of them. Actually, I've got most of these. So yeah, that's an option for you if you're looking to start your houseplant collection. And the usual Miracle-Gro raised bed mixes, as well as the organic potting soil, is always available every year. Now, raised bed mixes and potting mixes are not interchangeable, so know what you're buying them for. But the price is always good here. And lots of gardening accessories, hose reels, lighting, and things. Look, more bulbs. They're really tempting me to buy these peonies, but I'm going to put it back. Irises, I have got plenty. And then, oh, look at this. Bleeding heart. This is the real bleeding heart. It's called Dicentra. Another one of my past failures. Orchids and cymbidiums. Now, orchids are something that I do have in my future. I am going to try to grow them. But cymbidiums, a little more expensive, are considered the easier kind of orchid to grow. They are tropical plants, but the good news is they grow well outdoors if you can provide the right environment for them. So I was taking a walk around the garden just now, just trying to find all the plants that I have bought from Costco, the plants and the bulbs that I've bought from Costco over the years. And I was actually really disappointed. I couldn't find very much. Other than the fruit trees and the rose bushes, I really couldn't find much. And I know that I've been buying lots of bulbs over the years. So yeah, that's what I mean by unless you're deliberate about being able to buy what grows well where you live, and also that you're willing to take care of them, particularly those first couple of years while they're trying to get established, you are going to feel really disappointed like I am right now. Reality check. So after that walkthrough and seeing all the failures that I've had in my garden, you must be thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, she's a terrible gardener. What am I doing taking advice from her? Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I'm actually a pretty decent gardener, if I may say so myself. But this actually brings me to the last and probably the most important guideline, which is you need to be honest with yourself about what you can and what you can't do, what you can spend time on, because the more you give your garden, the more it's going to give back. And if you don't do sufficient homework, if you don't take care of your plants, they're not going to do for you what you expect them to do. So let me actually share with you some of my Costco successes so I can restore some of that trust in my abilities. So these gorgeous anemones I actually planned for several months before I bought them in the fall of last year. And as a result of it, they're doing extremely well. Now, one thing about anemones, they are actually native to my Mediterranean climate. And that's why they're going to come back year over year and give me gorgeous blooms. So this little planter over here is a great example of buying on an impulse and then not knowing what to do with it. Let me show you what happened to my hyacinth bulbs. All right, they are in there somewhere. There you are. I see one in the back over there as well. But unfortunately, they are not looking so beautiful because guess what? I decided when the hyacinths went dormant that I would stick just a few snapdragons, maybe a little bit of alyssum, maybe some, I don't know, nasturtiums. And before I knew it, the whole thing was taken over, and actually it looks a total mess. I will clean this up, but unfortunately the hyacinths are either going to have to be dug up or I'm just going to have to forget about them because they are not thriving over here. So this one is one of those candy cane, I think it's called, roses that I got 2 years ago. So this plant is 2 years old, got it from Costco, and it's doing really well. I've got another one just like it over here that is absolutely thriving, and I'm expecting a lot of pretty blooms from you this year. And buried in this chaos somewhere is one of the rose bushes or the bare root roses that I got last year. So this is a red rose. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, it is completely covered up in weeds, and I'm going to have to clean things up and give it the place that it deserves to shine. So here's a container that I planted some daffodil bulbs as well as some alliums. They are both from Costco. And every year this container completely goes bare after the plants die off, and then they stay bare until the following season, and then they come up again. So, and they bloom through spring, and then they're gone again for the rest of the year until next spring. And that's one way to do it. If you have enough containers and you can stash them somewhere in the off season, plant in containers. All right, let's do a quick recap of the 4 items of the framework. But before we do that, I want to show you with a spin around how beautifully my green stalk is doing. Come on up close. So I've got mostly pansies growing in this that are actually blooming right now. Look at them. They're just gorgeous. And the secret to having pansies bloom continuously is to constantly deadhead them. They produce really large seed pod heads, which take up a lot of energy. So you gotta deadhead them if you want the blooms to keep coming and have the plant really focus on those blooms. And waiting in the wings at the bottom, this thing is not even at its peak yet, but there's painted daisies, and they are just about getting ready to explode into blooms. So really looking forward to it. And this color, this white and blue combination is my dream. Anyway, let's do a recap of the 4 aspects of my framework. All right, so guideline number 1, do not buy the first time you go to Costco. Just do the inventory, and then the second time around, you can buy what you want to after you've planned for it. Guideline number 2, do a little research on the plants and make sure that they are going to grow well in your climate and that you can provide them what they need in order to make them grow well. Guideline number 3, do a little rough mapping of your garden. Know where the sun rises, where the sun sets, which parts are shaded in the morning, which parts are shaded in the evening, where does the sun fall during the morning, where does it fall during the evening, and then make sure that you plant in the right spots so that the plants get exactly what they need to thrive and to produce beautiful blooms and fruit. And then finally, and probably most importantly, be honest with yourself. Recognize your own limitations and how much you are going to be able to take care of the plants that you're bringing in, because the more love and attention you give them, the more they're going to thrive and the more love they're going to be showing you. And if you don't do this, you're just going to be disappointed in yourself, in your garden, and in your plants, and we definitely don't want that. Right, now run, don't walk to Costco and go get those roses because they go really fast. I hope you enjoyed the video, folks, and tell me, what did you buy at your local Costco nursery? Let's plant some beautiful, fragrant bare root roses. Unpack it and let it soak for about 8 hours or so. So you dig a hole which is 12 to 18 inches wide and 12 to 18 inches deep. And really, if your soil has been unamended and it's really hard, you want to go closer to 18 inches. Otherwise, 12 inches like mine is fine. And you want to backfill this entire hole with a mixture of half native soil and half compost. Plant your rose, water it in well, and you're done. Make sure that this location that you're planting it in is really sunny. Roses love sunshine, and it needs 6 to 8 hours of sunshine every day. Enjoy your roses.